So our first move that we're going to look at, this will be white crane spreads its wings. So for this move, as previous, we're going to look at the foot position, what our arms are doing, but also the middle antm, the lower antm, where our hips should be facing. One of the big differences with this move is the foot position. It's very different to the bow and arrow stance that you've been predominantly stood in as a stance for most of the moves in the Chinatown Dragon form. But we'll talk about that as we go through. And then of course we have the arm movement. It's much bigger, imagining that it is a bird opening the wingspan. So big opening move. For a lot of our students, it's one of their favourite moves, and hopefully it's one of yours as well. So, if I face side on, you can see, and I'll do it from a few different angles as well. And we said about the foot position is quite different. The foot position is the left foot comes in. Okay? On the ball, you can also be right on the very tip of your toes, but for most people on the ball of their left foot. The right foot is at that slight angle, 45 degrees or whatever is comfortable for you. So this is the stance. This is known as empty stance. Okay. Now, with this as well, the hips are not square on. The hips go at an angle as well. So maybe that same direction that the right foot is facing. So slight twist. But I'm looking at my opponent would be face on. So I'm looking face on, but my hips are at a slight angle to the right. Now my arms are lifted. The right hand lifts high, palm pressing upward, and the left palm is pressing downward. Okay. So they're active, they are doing something, they're pressing away. We're not pointing, we're actively pressing the palms away. So let's go through that again, and we'll add the moves that we've looked at over the last 3 weeks to this section. Okay. So again, I step in with the left foot, the hands part and press away, pressing up, pressing downward. So I'll do this face on as well. So left foot comes in, the hands pull. Imagine you're pulling something apart and pushing away with my hands. So see, I'm looking straight onto the camera, but the hips are at a slight angle. So step in onto the ball of the left foot. Away. So let's take from another angle. Same things, whereas the left foot that steps in. Okay, so again, notice here I'm square on, but the hips are, in my case, heading towards the window. Same kind of direction that my foot, my right foot, is heading in as well. So notice that I'm not overstretched, the arms are not fully extended, I'm not really pulling everything from the ground up, I'm still grounded, still got that connection with the ground below, the elbows are soft, the gaze is soft, the twist is active but it's not really strong. So now let's add that from the very beginning of the dragon form to that section. So commence. Look in the mirror. Roll back. This next move, this is press. This is withdraw, separate, and push. Part the horse's mane. Single whip. Roll back and shoulder stroke. Now here we have white crane spreads its wings. So as part of the shoulder stroke, we move the weight to the right, we come back to the left. Now this is the transition part. My right toes are angled out slightly. I bring my weight over to this right side, and as I do that, I bring the left foot in, so onto the ball of the foot. Open up, so as though you're tearing something apart, and open up. So see the hips are turned slightly, but I'm looking straight on. So again, let's go from the beginning so you can see how it flows. Commence. Look in the mirror. Roll back. Press. Withdraw, separate, and push. Part the horse's mane. Single whip. Roll back and shoulder stroke. At this point the weight moves, I turn my right toe, step in, and expand up and press down. So we have transitions and we have moves. Okay. So our transition into white crane spreads its wings forms the end part of the shoulder stroke. So if I do that section face on. So I've gone from single whip. This is a transition. I step the left foot to parallel. The arms over, and as I do so, bring the right foot to parallel. This is shoulder stroke. The weight comes from the left side to the right. These are the moves from last week. Now I've finished shoulder stroke, I bring the weight to the left side, turn the right toes, bring the weight over onto the right side and step in. Lift up. And white crane spreads its wings. Okay, so I'll go from this side as well. Lots of different sides because our students are stood in all different places, so it's good to get a different perspective. So again, I go from single whip. So we've gone from white crane, spreads and swings. If you remember, the right foot was at that angle. We're looking face on and the hips are off to that same side, the right side. Hands are pressed away. Now, most of the moves that we've done are in bow and arrow stance, and that's the stance that we're going to be in for brush, knee and push. We're getting into that position. So the arms circle around. See, the right hand comes down, the left hand comes over. And you'll see when I turn from the other direction what that's doing. So the right hand's just going to settle in this area, around the hip. The left hand is going to make out as though it's brushing the knee. So we're not actually physically brushing the leg or the knee, but it gives that kind of sense of brushing downward and pushing away. So it's also sometimes known as side step, brushing in side step. So imagine that you are pushing away to the side. But basically we're going from being in a empty stance, where this left foot is quite close to the right foot, to being in the bow and arrow stance again. So the right hand is coming down, the left hand's coming through round. The right hand stays by the sort of hip, and as the left hand comes into view, I'm going to step out with the left foot again onto the heel, and the left hand comes round. So it's like an arc, it's arcing round. Imagine you've pushed the leg forward. So as I've now gone past the knee, I'm going to turn my body. So remember, those hips were at an angle. The hips want to go straight on when we're in bow and arrow stance. So I've turned from being on the right to being square on. Okay. So let's go through that again. So we're in white crane, spreads its wings in empty stance, left foot on the ball. The right hand down, the left hand comes over. As this left hand is now view, and I think to step out with the left foot, left hand comes down and finishes past the leg, past the left leg. So what do I do now with my right hand? Well, it's brush, knee and push. So the right hand is going to be doing the push forward. Similar to what you do in single whip, you have a stop sign, a push sign. Okay. Now at the moment my hips are still at this angle. So as my right hand comes to push, I'm going to move the position of the back foot, the right foot. So I go from being on a sharp angle and turn. So it's still on a bit of an angle compared to the left foot that is face on. The right hand pushes. Now the left hand finished again by the hip, or this in front of the hip, that area. Okay, so let's do that again. So this is my square on, I'm at a slight angle. straight on, tilted the camera. So white crane spreads its wings. So notice I'm turning my body. I've turned from being on the right over to the left. Right hand comes past my face, left hand comes round. Now I'm turning my body again, I'm turning to the right side again. Now his hand's fully in front of me, it's in view. So I'm going to step forward, just let this left hand keep travelling past. And as it settles on around this left hip, I'm going to turn. And the turning action brings the right hand forward. So again, this right hand is not super high, it's not really low, it's around this middle height. Okay, so white crane spreads its wings, turn, turn. You now start to step forward with the left foot, left hand comes through, turn the hips, turn going square on and let the right hand follow. Let's brush left knee and push. Okay, so go this side as well. So white crane spreads its wings. Turn. The arms are just circling. Let's start with the right hand, then the left. The right. Left foot forward, the left hand follow. Your right hand through at the same time as I'm turning my hips forward. And I do that by moving this right foot. It's not stepping, it's turning on the ball of the foot in my instance. So, will we go from brush, left knee and push? So we had brush, left knee and push. So to finish, we turn, we're going to turn face the front, so facing the camera in this thing. Okay. So the weight comes onto my left foot, so I can turn the right foot to be face on. The left foot comes round to parallel and I drop my hands. And then I finish as we started and close. Okay. So we had white crane spreads its wings. Brush left knee push. Weight now is more on the left and the right toes to face front. Step round to parallel and close. So let's go from the very top, go all the way through. That was commence. This is look in the mirror. Roll back. Press. Withdraw, separate and push. Part the horse's mane. Single whip. Shoulder stroke coming up. This is roll back, shoulder stroke. White crane spreads its wings. brush, left knee, push. Okay, and then we finish. Weight transfers just like it has through the whole of the form. And we close. So, we'll go from the beginning. You have commence, rotate the wheel. Hold the ball. Ward off. Left. Look in the mirror. Roll back. Press. Withdraw and push. Single whip. Lifting hands. Now as I roll back, shoulder stroke. As white crane spreads its wings. And brush, left knee and push. So as you can see, very similar in that those moves flow one after the other. So the principles are exactly the same in the young style short form to going through the Chinatown Dragon form, exactly the same. Now we spoke that there are other brushes, there's brush, right knee and push. So again, near the beginning of the form, for the short form, is a brush, right knee and push. It goes from cross hands. So let's go through those moves. So cross hands would be crossing the hands in front. I cross the right hand in front of the left and lift. Now I turn, so similar to what we would do in the young style dragon form, we turn, so the weight shifts onto the right leg to allow me to turn the left foot to that 45 degrees. Now I've gone from parallel, I need to push outward to bow and arrow stance. So to do that, I'm going to brush the knee side, brush right knee and push. Okay. So it's like a mirrored version of what you've just done with the brush left knee. Okay. So cross hands. Okay. So this right hand is going to brush the right foot. Okay, so land on the heel, brush the right foot and push. So same that I've done when I have the left, in that my hips then turn to be square on. Left hand pushes away, right hand in front or by the hip. So again, cross hands. I use this time to transfer my weight, so turn the right toes, brush the right knee to the side and push. So the back foot is at an angle, the front foot is square on. Doesn't matter if the right foot is the foot that's in front or the left foot is in front, it doesn't matter. So it's the right foot because I brush the right knee and push. So brush right knee doesn't happen as many times as brush left knee, but it's there a couple of times in the whole of the Yak style short form, so it's worth practicing both. Okay, it sometimes feels a bit strange doing things mirrored, so if you're used to the Yak style short form, you know it's like when we do punch forward and we have a mirrored section towards the end. So this is kind of that equivalent. So you might be used to brush left knee and push, and then to do a brush right knee feels a bit strange. And so you're going from being face on when you have crossed hands. Remember, take that time, transfer the weight to the right side, turn the left toes, brush right knee and push. Okay, so let's do that from the opposite side so you get a different view on that. So I'll go with my back to you, cross hands, brush right knee, push. So again, notice I'm upright, not leaning forward. Alright. The weight's 50-50, just like it would be in any bow and arrow stance move. Hips are square on, so in this case left hand is forward in that stop sign, right hand is by my hip. So again, cross hands, brush, right knee,